Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I'm hot. Oh my God. Your boy's going through hot flashes. My birthday's tomorrow, and your boy's getting old, and I'm becoming an old lady. Put that right here. What's up, everyone? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. This is Art to the Round Table. My name is Mello. This is what we're going to be working on today. This is a drawing I did months ago, maybe even a year ago. I'm going to say months ago, of David. This is a representation of David versus Goliath. Purposely, and I'll tell you guys about it as the day goes on, but purposely leaving out Goliath and focusing on your boy David. Davidcito. So that's what we're going to be working on today. I finally put the acrylic wash over it. We're going to be using gouache. I said wash and gouache messed me up. So that's an acrylic, fluid acrylic for both cameras. Alright. Guys, you let me know if there's anything in here that you're interested in looking at or testing out, or a brand or a product that I have here on screen. You let me know on the chat. You let me know on the comments after the fact. And I will get you all the links if I can. All the stuff that I can so that you, yes you, can paint with me. Before I jump on that, let me just go through some of the stuff that we've been messing around with throughout the week. Let me move this camera. Bye-bye. Don't mind it. I'm not gonna close my shades today. It's later on in the morning. The sun is gonna be moving that way in a westerly motion, and it won't affect the paint. But it is behind me, and I'm warm. Alright, so this was something I drew a couple months ago also. I wanted to keep messing around with this paper. This is acrylic paper. 300 GSM is very, very stiff. I didn't like it at first when I bought it. I'm kind of digging it now. You saw that? I'm kind of digging it now. So I will be doing more drawings and paintings on this paper. What's really cool about it is that I don't have to prep so much. I don't have to put any fixative. I don't have to put any gesso. I could just go in on the paint and I could just focus on the drawing. And this was kind of like a loose. I've been reading a lot of Savage Conan for studying purposes. And I just had kind of like this shot in my mind of him grabbing a sword, and that's not necessarily supposed to be Conan. It is what it is. So one day we'll paint it together if you're interested. This is the same paper. I'm really digging this paper here. It's acrylic. Strathmore acrylic paper. And excuse me. Yeah, I'm going to start putting these things up. I'm just going to start tagging these. If you guys are interested, I would be extremely happy if you would click on any of the links that I put up. That will put a little bit of some of this, little boogers in my pocket, and that always helps. How many boogers are we talking? Yeah. So this is that same paper, and this was going to be a painting I was doing for Puerto Rico, just for Puerto Rico. Our beautiful island is suffering right now, man, and seems like mainland America is not really caring for island America. So we're hurting no water, no good infrastructure, which has been like that for years. A little goes a long way. If they would just take a peek into the territories that they own, not just Puerto Rico, every small territory that the U.S. owns, if you could just take one peek over there, but we've become narcissists. We've become stuck looking at our own reflection in a shallow pool. Anyway, I love this piece so much so far that I don't even know if I want to finish it. This is what we was messing around with. This was another study. This was a study of kind of like a 1950s era Frank Frazetta romance comic artwork. I was trying to mess with the way he does shadow on clothing and stuff like that, the figure. The paper really didn't. This is Bristol board smooth. The paper really kind of fought me a little bit. This is the type of paper that I probably should have added some gesso. Boom. We got Batmans and Catwomans. Get a little smoochy smooch. And blue Prisma. I kind of like how loose this is, so I'm wondering if I'm just going to have them emerging from the shadows. Might put the bat symbol up there. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen? Anyway. And that's it. I mean, I've just been trying to keep busy, do a little bit of everything. I got a ton of other stuff that's blue penciled up that needs to be inked. But anyway, let's work on this. Let me take a sip. We're gonna work on this. If you jump on, make sure you say hello. Tell me how you doing today. If you're working on anything, if you're working on nothing, you can do that too. This is the palette that I'll be using. This is the one I used for yesterday's painting. What did I paint yesterday? What the hell? Oh. Got everything all over the place. Everything everywhere all at once. So these are Castle Art gouache. This is the first time I used them. Yesterday was the first time I used them to paint my boy. My boy! This is my own character, my own OC. Original character, if you don't know. I'm sure you do know. His name is Mjorn. That's his daughter, Efo. That's his son, Enix. That's his brother, Kelbray. I'm going to be adding to the family tree. I'm going to paint the wife. And then I'm going to keep doing hero pieces for some of the villains and the protagonists, not the antagonists and side characters. Two that I'm really excited to put together are the twins, Orin and Ninro, giant tank-like dudes who are kind of like lovable lummoxes who love to fight. So yeah, this is the first time I'm really digging the quality of these Castle Arts gouache. I did an unboxing yesterday. I briefly skimmed through these. I wasn't very thorough with this stuff. I really don't bother with all the inside stuff. I do appreciate it, Castle Arts. Thank you. But I don't do swatches either. I don't want to use the paints on a swatch. I want to use the paint on a piece. You know what I'm saying? It's expensive out there. So, this is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be supplementing from this pack into my palette. But yeah, ain't that cool? What a difference. These, I was using Winsor Newton and Artezas for these. And you can, there's already like a more of a liveliness with this painting and less effort than it was to do those. Like the smoothing out of this young man's face compared to how it's smooth it is here. Kind of worked out. Anyway, enough about me. What about you? I'm gonna put that for live chat. All right. Shall we continue? Yep. last piece I did before we get to work. Get Rihanna on the line. Is this Indiana Jones weird tribute homage parody? I wanted to do this for. There's an indie creator out there called Rob Norton, but I don't think it's gonna work for what he's doing. But I still like it. Still love it. I'm gonna try to ink this, and if they can use it, they can. If they can't, I still had fun. But yeah, enough about that. That's it. That has been my week. That has been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Today, I will not be on tomorrow. So today, I'm going to do as much of this in 2 streams. So let's get to paint. We've been in here 12 minutes. I think that's enough schmoozing. Let's talk about color composition, what we're going to do here. I already have my base colors. This is basically the Zorn palette. Black, white, yellow ochre, vermilion. Those 4. You can do light and dark, Mediterranean, olive skin, Greek, Italian, all the skin tones in the world. You can pretty much do it with this palette. If you don't believe me, I suggest you try it out, give it a shot. And really, the trick to it, to manipulate the color to those skin tones, is the certain base. The first color you start with will be your base. So if you're going to be a little bit more darker skinned, start with the black and the vermilion, or tone it down, black and the yellow ochre. So anyway, that's a great way for you guys to experiment. I suggest you try it out. So for Davidcito, you guys already know, desert skin, so I'm going to be in the very close to this range here. Now, let me tell you quickly about this piece. This is just a study. I just want to see what the colors are going to look like. I drew this months ago, and I really didn't have a color palette in mind when I drew it. I just knew that it was desert. I was thinking more of the atmosphere and the vibe of it, of what it would look like to be at eye view of David at that moment where he's about to launch his that stone with his sling, and I just wanted to make sure that this really was my focus, not so much color. So that's what today is going to be for. So I'm going to make it seem like the sun is behind him. I'm right-handed, so I usually put my light sources on the left, usually. But I want some celestial glow from the sun behind him. So it's gonna be shadowy, kinda. So I might do that first. I might do the glow first, and some shadows. Who knows? Should we give it a shot? I'm trying to think. Yeah. 2 layers, his sleeve here, so this and that will be different color. I can kind of wing it right here. I don't want it to smudge. I already make it smudge. This is regular HB drawing pencil. This paper, one of the things I used to do, when I was building up my painting technique using non-traditional painting paper for gouache. This is probably mixed media. It is mixed media, and I'm a bit heavy. I don't want my paper to buckle. I don't want to be pinching and stuff like that, so I can't wait to do that one. So I usually spray my pencils with fixative, which I did, and then use clear gesso on top of that to give it texture so the paint could sit. Because once you spray fixative, that's a waterproof barrier. Gouache is a water-based medium. Those first couple of layers are going to be beading. They're not going to sit. You're just going to be pushing water around and then waiting for it to settle and stain and dry, and you don't want to do that. It's a bit disappointing. All right, enough of that. I'm going to use a bit of mid-yellow. I was actually thinking of using some Arteza gold, but this is going to be a very one-note painting, I think. We got white. We're going to need more white. We always need more white. White is probably the one paint that gets used up so quickly when painting with gouache. I don't know if that's true with everything else. I got blues for purples. I can do grays. Shall we go? You want to go? You want to go? All right, let's go. All right. I'm using an old phone to record and record my shorts and stuff. Shorts and stuff? Sound like a little kid. But Apple really does brick their phones, man. Give me 1 second, Unkitty, and thank you for joining me. I'll answer your question in a hot second. I'm just trying to set up this stinky video. Okay, so you say, Unkitty asks, how long have you taken drawing more seriously and become this good? That's an interesting question because there was never a point when I didn't take drawing seriously. I think I did it more as a hobby early. So you know what? Let me change that because I think I just contradicted myself while answering your question. All right, let me. I think within the last 10 years is when I said I really did begin to put more time and effort into my drawing. When it came to painting, though, that was within the last 3. Yeah, so 10 years, I believe, has been really... Alright, I'm just going to use a dark shade. I'm going to see if I can build some form, because it's really flat. So, and I want to emphasize my form here. But yeah, Unkitty, I have been drawing, most people say, since I remember, but it really has been that case. But I don't think, even then, I don't think I really started drawing until for real. Almost 9-10 years old, something like that, I think. I thought it was going to be my thing. I went to school for graphic design and communication. I'm mainly self-taught. Just from tracing, copying, everything. Swiping, you name it. You start doing enough of the same thing over and over, you get to be pretty good at it. Kind of the truth about everything. And consistency. Unkitty says, for me it was more like in 2019. It's been 7 years. That's when I was more like, all right, I want to become a good artist and draw good. Yeah, that's cool. 2019, 22, that was during COVID or the beginning of it? I can't remember. I hear you. I did a lot of drawing during that time too. Self-taught, yeah. You know, something that I love about us. We're all inherently creators. You're born being able to do this stuff. You really are. Right? As you're a kid, you acting a little rambunctious. Your mom or your dad wants to, hey, quiet down, and they'll give you a crayon or something. Go do something. We already know what these shapes are. It's just that we stop having fun, I think. We stop having fun when we get unsolicited critiques. There's nothing worse to poop on a young kid's drawing just because they didn't draw that right or that way or this thing that way. Yeah. But yeah, I am self-taught too. The thing that I learned mostly when I went to school for graphic design was that. Working with compositions a bit better and software to help. Photoshop, Illustrator, that type of stuff. I really went to school for 3D animation and modeling. I just never panned out. Alright, I'm gonna need a bigger brush. I gotta remember, I'm using a wet palette. This piece here, oh, you can't see it. I don't know if you're on a computer, Unkitty, but if you were to click that link that I have pinned, you can see my whole table with the colors I'm using and the palette. If you want to. If you're comfortable where you are, stay where you are. I want to keep my colors pretty close to each other. The reason I started was mostly because I wanted to prove my family and people wrong that I could become good at making better drawings, and that it was not that it wasn't talent. Ah, I see. Gotcha. Yeah, that's kind of stinky. If you don't mind me saying. Comparison, man. Listen, I'm guilty of it. Even to this day, there's certain artists or there's certain people that I can't compare myself to. But I kind of look up to how they do certain things. But to compare and to say you can't do it better than so and so, I do that enough for myself. I don't need anybody else to help me with my angsty self-doubt as an artist. There's going to be a point where you just don't, not that you don't care. Drive is good, but I would love for you to get better because you want to get better and it makes you feel good. And once they go, oh, that's great, you had it. I knew you had it in you. Could tell them to go kick rocks. Not that we do this to spite people. Yeah, it just happens, man. It just happens. There's some artists that I used to try to compare myself to and just would be like, oh brother. And then I don't anymore. There's certain artists like comic book artist and painter Alex Ross that I used to look at his stuff and be envious of it, and I don't have that envy. I don't have that desire to have my stuff look like his. So many other artists tried them. And the first thing that comes out of anybody's mouth is, oh, that looks kind of like so-and-so's. And I don't want that. I want people to look at my art as it expands and gets better and goes, That looks like Mello's art. Acid Rain, thank you very much. All right. I'm going to put a little bit of brown. I'm going to dull that down. I'm going to try to stay here in the middle of my palette again. Here, I'll show you real quick. Skapow, that's what I'm talking about. My wet palette. So I'm trying to stay in the center so I won't muddy everything, and then if I have to add other colors, I can go ahead and do that without muddying what I'm doing. Wish me luck on that. I'm trying to get a mid base to dark. I know doing this for me now anyways, not to prove to anyone they are wrong. Yeah, I'm kidding. That might be too dark. What kind of medium do you use? You painter? You just you draw, or markers? Let the people know. I get that you just don't want others to say this art style looks similar to someone else's. Kind of, right? Kind of. Like I don't hide my influences, right? I don't hide who I'm trying to, you know, when I draw my figure, how can I put it? My painting influences is kind of small. Let me lower that music. My painting influences is kind of small. I love Picasso. I love, Mucha and Gustav Klimt and Leyendecker and all of those great, some contemporary, some older, and some masters. I'm never going to paint like them. I might steal certain thing. And especially when it comes to drawing, when I started drawing and getting better, I started looking at Jim Lee, all the guys from the 90s. Jim Lee, Larson, Liefeld, McFarlane. And as I got older, I started looking into expanding that group. So hopefully I've cribbed and stolen enough from everybody that nobody will be able to say, hey, that looks like so-and-so's. I just wanted to look familiar. But yeah, we all have a specific style. I know I have a specific style. I'm always trying to expand, but because I think if I was only to try to emulate one of those artists, then the only thing people have as a compliment is that, wow, that looks just like so-and-so's. Like, does that make it great because it looks like that person's art? You know, isn't that a weird way of thinking? You want to be part of this specific group where you fit as well and people can talk about how unique you are. Yeah, right? You know what is funny? We're so picky. We want it all. That's all. We want it all. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You digital? I love digital. I used to do digital, when I went to school for it. In graphic design, the majority of my classes was in digital. I don't do digital much at all now. Now I'm strictly pencil, paper, canvas, artboard, that type of stuff. All right, I'm gonna put this here. I don't know if this is gonna work. I want that glow, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, bro. All right. You like to draw? Oh, traditional. Yeah. You know what's so funny? The one thing that I couldn't, and I still kind of can't get over from digital is being able to zoom in so close. Because I don't draw that way, this has a limitation of how tight I can get it into. So I have to appreciate the distance and create those weird textures and forms. You have to imply more, I think, when it comes to painting traditional. And that may not be true. I haven't done it in so long that the software may have caught up. I mean, I know that it can emulate watercolor now and oils now. I'm sure it's been able to do that forever or for a while now, but yeah, man, I like to get dirty. Not really. I have gloves. I use these digital hand sleeves. These sleeves for digital artists. I use it when I draw on paper. It helps to reduce smudging and it helps to keep the inside of your palms clean, but you know that. Gotcha. You know, Unkitty, I don't say that. Don't say that you're not as good as you or me or don't do that. You have your own journey and trajectory that you are taking. You gotta gotta be okay with some of the shortcomings. I have a ton of shortcomings when it comes to certain things, and it's all right. But I don't want you to feel any type of way. You know what I'm saying? And I know you probably, I mean, I say it all the time, so I hear you. I don't know how this glow is going to work. I'm going to head and start putting this yellow. One thing's for certain, man, on this channel. I'm glad you found this channel. I hope you stick around. It's called Arts of the Round Table for a reason. It's for the people that create it. And there's this little community of artists that every once in a while we all get together here. They find their way here. Super supportive. We're all learning different types of art. Some use oils, some use watercolor, some use just ink wash. Some do digital. Some are comic book artists and graphic novelists. Some are writers. And all we do is share resources. I mean, so you trying to get better at drawing. I'm going to use some orange here. So fancy. Terracotta light. Just say it's orange. You want to figure out and work on some figure drawings? Yeah, this will be the place. I'm going to put you right here. My type of work is usually comic book style. Figure drawing, portraits is usually where I'm at. Here, I'll give you an idea here. Yeah, you gotta have a good time. You gotta have a good time. Yeah, I'll show you. Oh, that's me. I'm trying to get better doing portraits. That's my beautiful daughter. And then there's crazy stuff like this, like He-Man and She-Ra. So if you want to learn how to draw expressive faces, cartoonish, or even realistic anatomy or fake anatomy, look at that arm. Just have a ball. That's all we do here. That's Bane and Batman getting beat up. I don't want a hug. Some of this stuff is done off screen. Some of this stuff is done live. So this, just to show you some of the different styles, that's kind of my pencil and inking style right there. This was the first version, kind of like maybe not the second version of this guy. And I drew them on the same day. This was kind of like my rough, get it out of my head, and then I replicated it, or tried to as best as I could, so that I can paint it. And there's a digital artist here by the name of the Montoya that's really good. If you get a chance, check out his Instagram and his YouTube. The Montoya. I gotta get the dates right. What else we got? This was me messing around with composition. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of reading of Savage comics, Savage Conan comics, or the Savage Sword of Conan. Ghoulish Goober down here. I think he was going to be assaulting a man, getting beat up, and then our hero, unhand him, you. But it just kind of came out willy-nilly. I was just messing around with figures. More She-Ra. I actually like this one. I'm going to ink this one. I got to scan it and ink it. Do you do any digital inking? If you're ever interested in doing a collaboration, or if you see something that you like, you want to put some inks or colors on it as a digital artist, you let me know. I'm not that type of dude to be like, don't touch my stuff. Maybe later. Do it now while I'm cheap. Some more Conan stuff. At the end of the day, Young Kitty says, why should we feel envy? Most artists and people post their best work, not their mistakes, but very good stuff. Yeah, that's true. And mostly, they rarely post their mistakes. I post a lot of this stuff, like unfinished, like I didn't know how to finish certain things, and I'll bring it up and I'll ask the crew, the knights. Yeah, this is incomplete, but I like that form. Supposed to be Conan whomping on some people. That dude got wrecked. Anyway, got some more in here. What else I got in here? Oh, gravy. I might have to zoom out that camera for a second. These sheets are big. These are 11 by 17. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can. So yeah, I do a lot of this stuff live. We talk about the physique. I talk about the figure, the challenges. I had tons of trouble trying to get that arm right. But this is kind of like my go-to pose. One arm down, one arm up. See? One arm down, one arm up. What's the last one? Back girl. I think this one would look amazing in black ink. I might do it. One of my favorites. Blade and Spawn. A little team up. Is that it? Yeah. All right. Oh, thanks, man. And I cheat, man. I cheat. I have figurines that I use as my models. My Buffalo, my little lady. Yeah. I don't gatekeep. That's one important thing here. I don't gatekeep. I want to share this stuff with everyone. It means nothing to me if it dies with me, so to speak. So there's no point. There's no point. The most important thing to me is sharing this stuff and putting it out there. I don't know why I use this flat spoon if I'm not going to be able to. Definitely not cheating. No, you have to almost say that all the time because people, is it imagination? Are you using figures? Are you using reference? I say use whatever you want. Do whatever you want as long as you get better and it's not hurting anybody. Do it. Thank you for sharing with us. You're welcome, man. Like I said, there's no point to gatekeep it. There really isn't. So let us continue. I don't know how I'm going to do this glow effect. I kind of like, but that's okay. So the reason I'm doing this painting, I drew this months ago, and when I drew it, I had this uncertainty how I was going to do it, and I just this fear of, oh, I'm going to mess it up and all this, everything that holds you back when it comes to doing anything. But I don't want to do that. Hold on a second. My Roomba. One, because it means a lot to me to do it. But the goal is to, if I can do this satisfactory to me, I'm gonna try to put it up on, replicate it on a bigger canvas. DW, good morning, sir. How are you? How you doing, my fine fellow? Where is that from? My fine fellow, where is that? Is that Bust a Move? You remember that song? Bust a Move. Trying to do what the ladies tell us. Oh man. Dang it, DW. TV girl, calm. How are you? I gotta move my table. Good morning, good morning. Aunt Kitty says, man, I have been there so many times. Maybe all the times when I want to finish a piece or sketch I draw. What if I mess it up? Should I even? Oh my God. The what if I mess it up is the artist motto. And DW goes, Oh, I'm gonna have to figure out that song. I'll probably get struck here. It was called Bust a Move. Came out in the early 90s. Bust a Move by Young MC. Oh. So when you said my fine fellow, he says that oh my goodness, this thing is so old. I'm gonna have to listen to this later. New movies showing, so you're going. Could care less about the $5 you're blowing. $5. Theater gets dark. Just to start the show, then you spot a fine woman sitting in your row. She's dressed in yellow. She says hello. Come sit next to me, you fine fellow. You run over there without a second to lose, and what comes next? You bust the move. Y'all don't remember this? Hachi. Oh, those were simpler times. All right. I'm going to use a little bit more blue. That's too much blue. Nope. Okay, that's not good. Dang, how cool is that? I'm going to see if I can clean up this palette. I don't want it to be pink. So, because he's in the desert, so I'm going to try to... Let me see if I can... I'm gonna save that. Me singing that. Is this from Lord of the Rings? What is the music or the drawing? The painting? No. That is David from David and Goliath. The song. You know what? I didn't think I was gonna be able to do that. That is awesome because of this wet palette. I am selling the heck out of this wet palette. Put that away, put that away, put that away, put that away. Have you also studied color theory? Unkidded, no. I have studied no color theory. But we have some form of understanding, right? Of complementary colors. I do have two color wheels that I frequently look at. But no, not really. That's where studying other artists and other masters comes into play. Listening to how they talk about certain colors, and just doing a lot of watching, studying, and trying out. Color theory. Who said it? Who compared it to music theory? Somebody in the chat once said the same thing. Like it's another science. And art to me is an art, not a science. See what I'm saying? Most of the stuff that the squad here goes on, we go a lot on instinct and just what looks good, you know. I've learned a lot lately there's certain things, yes, on portraits that I know. I don't know if it's color theory, but there's certain practices and basics in terms of color warmth on the faces. Yellow on the forehead, red on the cheeks and nose, a little bit of blue on the bottom. That goes for both male and female portraits. Less blue on the females because you don't want it to look like they have a 5 o'clock shadow, but it still can be used. That type of stuff. But no, color theory is for the birds. No, I'm just kidding. DW says, funny the things that activate memory. Weird thing that happens with me. I will always wake up with a random song in my head that I haven't heard in years. Don't do it. I don't want to read the song you just mentioned. That's diabolical. Oh, damn it. Diabolical. Okay, sorry. All right, just letting you guys know also, I have a double stream going on, both on YouTube, one on a vertical, one on a horizontal. So if it sounds like I'm talking to myself, I'm not. Maybe. All right. Lately, I've been starting out with the shadows of the eyes. So let's continue with that. Sorry. So, yellow ochre, a little bit of black. Again, this black gouache is oh my lord, it has blue pigments. So if you add a little bit of yellow, it's going to turn greenish. So I just kept adding a little bit of the black to subdue that. And word of thumb, usually that shadow is on the top part of the eye, the whites of the eye. Kitty says, where else do you stream? I only stream right now on YouTube. I used to stream on YouTube and Twitch. If I had Restream going, I would have done it there. But right now it's just YouTube. I am just I stream on YouTube, but I have 2 streams going automatically. I mean simultaneously. Horizontal, so you can see my whole desk, and vertical for the shorts feed. Where's probably where I'm hanging out with you. I know as an artist with all the streaming and stuff that it's beneficial to go everywhere. I'm just one guy. I don't have a squad. I don't have a team. I don't have a production house. Just me and my camera. DW says, nah, you are. Where? Oh, I'm talking to myself? Nuh-uh. Painted blue? Paint him blue. Paint David blue? Give him blue eyes, you mean? Oh, you can do that too. Paint the, I've done that. I've been enjoying doing this piece where I start with the eyes. They really do begin to emerge, and it keeps you focused. It's like it begins to start looking at you. Yeah, I used to multi-stream, but and my Twitch is so empty that it just didn't really make any sense to do it there. I understand why people do it, but I don't have a following there or anything like that, and I wanted to try to stream on. I wanted to try to stream on Instagram, but you need 1,000 followers, I think. And ain't nobody trying to give me no time. See, that's what I'm saying. Click that link. Say what up to the peoples. DW. Chief Girl, say hello to Unkitty Number Deuce. A fellow artist. One of us. One of us. Move my stuff around. Yeah, Twitch seems to be a bit more for games and try to bend the rules, show a little flash, and get that's one thing I can't do. What's up, Ike? How you doing, sir? Good. Oh, wait, hold on. It's 5 hours, right? So it's about 4:30? Good afternoon, man. How are you? I gotta start gaming. I used to, man. I used to stream. You want to know how long ago? When I used to stream live on Twitch, the whole reason I was playing Halo. Eek. Thank you, Ike. Playing Halo. I gotta try to find a color here to bring out that skin tone, but I'm gonna try to. I'm just gonna be playing with the problem. Yellow ochre. I'm gonna make it subtle. I don't know if this will be subtle enough. Doc and Marty, huh? Now, what's happening? What's happening? What did I miss? What did I just miss? I'm going back on the chat. Give me 1 second. TV Girl says, can you draw Doc and Marty? Doc Brown and Marty from Back to the Future is my favorite movie. Yeah, you know, I've been wanting to do portraits. You know what? Hold on. I took down, the Hobgoblin, right? That is from a request from DW. Doc and Marty. TV Girl. TV Girl, come. I'll tell you what. If I create a member channel, I'll be taking y'all requests and I'll do these portraits for y'all, paintings for y'all. And if I do the one that you requested, I'll send it to you. I gotta make sure I keep him young. Yeah, the hardest thing I think is going to be finding this shadow. Or finding the youthfulness. But if I want it to blend, I got to make sure everything is still kind of wet. The most amazing thing, what's up, Link? I find out about David and Goliath. The whole thing is that he must have been like 12 years old. And the dude was so cute that they thought he was frail. Which is why they made him tend the sheep. His family's flock. Because back then, that job was for the girls. And that's something. But by that age, he already had fought a bear, I think, and a lion. I think that's amazing. I'm sorry I got quiet. I'm going to get on a chat for a hot second. I can talk to the peoples. But I'm trying to make sure my colors blend. I have my fan on in my room, so I'm fighting that. And it feels like almost like it's drying before I even get it on the paper. Jay Near, what's going on, man? I feel like it's been a while. But welcome. You're always welcome. And get back to the chat. Cool, working on David. Hello, everyone. How you doing, Link? If I didn't say what's up. I like the MLP art you have there, TV girl. Everybody's complimenting each other. That's fantastic. DW says, my daily problem, freaking gorgeous, so people give me immediately. So you so you understand what the homie was dealing with. Busy with life, Janie. I hear you, man. I hear you. No harm, no foul. Yeah, I think this paper, not the paper, but the temperature here is really fighting me. So I'm going to have to be a bit more suggestive and less trying to get it tight. That's what she said, and that's inappropriate. Yeesh, that burnt sienna came on strong. Happy to see you all here, says Link. I'm glad everybody's here. I appreciate all of you for hanging out. I'm trying to do two streams today, because I will not be here tomorrow for my regular Friday streams. I've officially gone a full rotation around the sun one more time. DW says, Mello, have you talked about why the David and Goliath idea means so? I can't even believe I got marbles in my mouth. Have you talked about why the David Goliath idea means so much with you? I don't think I've spoken about it in this video. And Link says she loves the color so far. Thank you. They're very, I'll show you my palette. They're very subdued, as you can see, very earthy. Obviously, this is going to be a desert scene, basically. The only other exotic color is blue. And I don't know quite where I'm going to use it just yet. So I've been using it as my shadow base. And down here. Stop that. But why the David and Goliath? So, you know, I think this was during, I was dealing with a lot of stuff. When this came about, when I envisioned this piece here, I just felt that right now, as I've grown and I'm painting it, we all have our own Goliaths that we deal with, which is why, if you notice, he is not shown in this piece. And it's David, and it's his eyes, and it's not fear. It was never fear. It was determination. It was seeing what's in front of him and knowing that he is going to take it down. He didn't have any doubt. And I wish we all had a little bit of David in us, in that sense, where there's no doubt. But yeah, but the reason why I didn't show Goliath in this piece, because we deal with our own Goliaths, and it's not necessarily always a giant. But it may seem that way. It was a alcohol addiction with me and many others. It was stress of work, stress of home, stress of rent, stress of not getting things paid. Those are all different types of Goliaths that we deal with. So I just think it's in a super powerful moment. I think it gets diluted by just almost in everything. David and Goliath story when it comes to boxers, baseball, sports, but in the end, to the spiritual, even the mental, the growth of a person, as we all deal with our own Goliaths. My love and understanding of it always changes as we grow, as we succeed, as I conquered my Goliath of alcohol and all my other fantastic vices. And to make him look young, he can't have too much. That's right, Link. Yeah, D-dubs, and it's one of those things that no one can really see, right? Nobody saw what he saw. Nobody saw what he saw in himself. Um, the way he was criticized by his own brothers. When that situation was there. What color is this? So think about that when, family doesn't believe in you. You're drunk or you're this, you'll always be that, you're a loser. Family and friends sometimes say the worst things to us. Out of love. You need a hard truth. You need a tough love. His brothers was like, you're only here for glory, to showboat. Can you imagine saying that? Imagine being in the middle of war. Your enemy is sitting on the other side. Not only is he's been talking trash, he's been blaspheming about you, your family, your mother, your God, everyone. And your little brother comes around going, Dad asked me to bring you this food and to see what's going on. Get out of here. You're trying to be a glory hog. He's like, bruh. Get out of here. It's like, ain't you guys going to say anything? Aren't you going to do anything? Aren't you going to help me, right? If you think about how we talk to our family, aren't you going to help me in our minds? You see what I'm dealing with? Nah, get out of here. Mind your business. And then we also have to be careful with the people that say they're there to help us. What did the king do when David was like, I'll fight that giant? Here, give him my armor. How many people we know in high regard or respect try to give us something of theirs so that we can be successful? And how many situations where we have it successful and they'll say, he was only able to do that, she was only able to do that because she had my armor, because he had what I provided him. He only got that job because I gave the HR person a heads up. I know that person went, you know what I'm saying? All those little things where we end up relying on someone else who's not supposed to be the one to provide us that grace and glory. Come on. I don't want it to be that. We're not going to go to Sunday school on a Thursday. But there's certain things in life that we have to do things ourselves and look within ourselves and take care of business. D-Dubs says, I'm lucky I have a family that supports me through my struggles fighting an internal Goliath. See, that's awesome. That's awesome. God bless them. God bless you, brother. Link says, those colors remind me of the Zorn palette. Ooh, they are the Zorn palette. I don't normally know paint palettes, but I've always appreciated that one. Ooh, Link, you nerd. It is the Zorn palette. Yeah. Black, white, yellow ochre, and vermilion. And then these are my exotics, right? Some yellow, orange. They call it terracotta light. It's orange. Burnt sienna. And I believe that's ultramarine. But this is all basically using that. Let's do his hair. And it said out of love. You know, it would be great, D Dubs and Link. You guys know where that's from. If we can get the beginning of Link of Zelda, The Adventures of Zelda, where the innkeeper says, "Take this because it's dangerous out there," and presents the first sword or the first weapon, that. And it'll be, "Link, you nerd, take this. It's too dangerous out there." Sorry, I got quiet again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna make sure I have enough fingers in here. Gotta make sure my fingers are well counted. Don't want to get accused. I would wear the heck out of that shirt too, though. Isn't that weird? Look at how matte and blue that hair came out. I can dig it. Give me an opportunity to mess around with Link, you asked the question about how much time between layers. Like if were you referring to this right here, or between doing the underpainting and beginning, or just in general when I was talking about the secrets of gouache painting being water, opacity, and time? my 20th birthday. Shame. I can't even remember my 20th birthday, which is probably a good thing. So, what are we doing? We're gonna hang out. It's been hot as heck down here in Florida. Might sit by the pool, might go to the beach in Jacksonville. But the family's always busy and we all have odd schedules. So what we're actually going to do, that's why I'm not going to be on tomorrow, we're going to have dinner tonight. And that way tomorrow we can do whatever we want. Yes. Good one, D-Dubs. We're just going to go out to dinner. There's 2 places where we are that has become the go-to place. One of them is the Puerto Rican kitchen. That's right. We cook the same food at home, but we're gonna go have somebody else do it for us. called Palermo's, the Puerto Rican kitchen. Amazing traditional Puerto Rican food. Latin cuisine is like Latin Italian, I think. Either way, banging. And then, but today, we're going to go to it's called the Zen Dumpling. That place is delicious. We're gonna go eat some soup dumplings. And that's it. Probably gonna go play some DayZ later on tonight, maybe. And then on Sunday, right? Because it's Mellopalooza starting today. Mellopalooza, we do everything I want to do. Kidding. We're gonna go to a flea market and go buy some exotic Caribbean fruit like quenepas and jackfruit. You guys ever had jackfruit? It looks gross. I've never had it. It looks gross, but everybody says it's delicious. So got a little. He had rosy cheeks. That looks orange. I only need a little bit. So one of the things I was saying about painting that I've kind of like, I wouldn't say I figured out, but kind of like what helps me is not really knowing what the paint wants to do. Is that what I said? No. Not learning how to control the paint, but in learning what the paint wants to do. And that comes with water, opacity, and time. Because it's just us trying to adapt at all times. Meatballs that were made from jackfruit. Because I think even if you cook it, the jackfruit is such a versatile fruit. We Googled everything here. And I saw an Iron Chef cook it. You can use the flesh, not the flesh. You can use the meat inside, which is sweet. You can use the fibrous textures and fry it. And it tastes like almost like French fries. Isn't that nuts? You can boil and season the seed, and it has an earthy flavor to it. We ain't gonna do all that. I just want to taste the fruit. Meatballs, oh, it just sounds gross, but don't. I've never heard of that though, D-dubs. What are you gonna do? David was the man. Link says, I don't know anything about Gouache, and other than his really long and weird name, I'm happy you're getting good food though, that you don't have to make. Oh yeah. We love cooking here though. I mean, the other day, I smoked a leg of lamb. Ow. It was butterflied leg of lamb. And then I smoked it for 4 hours, and then put it in a pressure cooker for an hour. So it came out super tender, fall apart. It's delicious. I want it to kind of mix with that shadow. I gotta darken that because it just looks like he has a crown made of hands. And that's weird. All I have as reference for this is the original pencil drawing. That's the only thing I'm looking at to make sure that I stay the same. Or that the image stays where it's supposed to. I don't know what I'm gonna do up there for color. But let's see if we can get his arm in there now that I still have all these tones. This paper, this mixed media paper, what are you? Canson mixed media paper, 138 pounds, 224 G. I can't remember what the G stands for. Some people say grit. I got nothing. I can't remember. But it sat for so long. Because of my indecision to paint in the first place. But it is just soaking up. It has fixative for the pencils. And it has gesso. And the gesso was so that it can, obviously, like I said before, it holds the gouache. Because once you put fixative on it, it becomes a water barrier. Come on. It's too red. I might have to clean that up. Maybe not. It looks different on the gray palette. So where was I? Yeah, so it's been treated so much so, just so I can try to paint. That is eating up. You. Close this. Let me read what you guys are saying. Crown of hands like Bullwinkle. But does Bullwinkle have a crown of hands? This painting is so beautiful. I can't get over those colors. It really pops. And it's so weird how it's just a simple palette. Um, I recommend it. I think it's a beautiful, simple. I think some people actually call it the student palette because it reduces your options and it forces you to just work on those four. The amount of range you can get on those is really good. I have. Is it near me? When I first started messing around, sorry, Joshua G. Nice shape, but the eyes seem to be. Well, nobody asked you. No, I'm kidding. Nice shape, but the eyes seem to be bigger than the other slightly. In the composition, can definitely be a lot more interesting instead of getting cut off at the hand or scaling issue. Also, ears off angle. Noted. Anywho, this is using that Zorn palette. Not this one, I was using Hemi's. And these are also using the same colors. I wish I could remember. But again, it all becomes from what I was talking about. What I was talking about earlier. It depends on the base, the first color you start laying down to become what you want to put in there. So I think, yeah, this one started with the yellow ochre light. This one started with the vermilion and black to get that darker tone. And this one just stayed on that vermilion and white. Doo-doo. All right. What are we doing here? All right. Link, do you do a lot of landscape? Or no? I don't do any at all. I started a little bit with when I was learning to paint and using acrylics. I didn't know where to start, so I started to watch a lot of videos, but they were mostly landscape videos. Joshua G. Davila, I appreciate the well wishes. Thank you, Professor. Ah, gravy. I don't know if I want to do this blue-ish, because I think I kind of like that how subdued everything is. We'll see. Talk about farting in a crowded elevator. Hey, JOM, what's going on, buddy? What the frick was that about? Just wondering if there are any nice art museums in Florida. There should be. I think there was one that we was planning to go look at in Jacksonville. I keep laughing at it. But it's fine. It's fine. But yes, there are definitely a bunch of beautiful museums around here. I just haven't. I'm one of those dudes, man, and it really grinds my own gears that I don't visit museum as much as I want to. I'm gonna add some red, vermilion, sorry, to this shadow. I want it behind them, and then I'll work. Yeah, you ripped it in the crowded elevator, and I was like, well, this is my floor. See ya. I don't want to use white. I want this one. Yeah. That's how you know you make it. You know, and I don't want to seem unappreciative of unsolicited advice. I'm always one to hear people's opinions, enjoy it. This place is a safe place for that type of talk. Shoot, you invite yourself to it the moment you turn the camera on. But it is the high horse approach that is the biggest turnoff. Like, go kick rocks professor. Nobody asked you, but that's okay. It really is okay. Everybody needs a voice and a platform. It's hard to be taken serious when you're yelling in your mom's basement. But it's the high horse approach of that assumption that, let me just say something louder because I know more than they do. Now, if I go visit that dude's page and there's fine art quality stuff in there, then I'm like, oh crap, maybe I should have taken notice. But you don't have to adjust your spectacles to walk in here. That makes sense? Listen, man, my cousin had he set up his mom's basement to be his bedroom, and I was so envious. I don't mean it like that. All the dwellers are coming out. Hey, man. What do you mean? Now, who's on the high horse? But it's funny. It's cute. And I've seen it a lot. Not just me. I remember watching somebody do some drawing. And some dude came out of nowhere. This is wrong. This is wrong. That's wrong. You suck. And it's like, what the? Who is having such a bad day right now? And why are you trying to make it contagious? Like, back up. You don't even ask a question. At least he wished me luck, though. I mean, that's nice of him. I appreciate that. We could all use a little luck. Oh, he's an expert. I'm petty. I'm looking at his stuff. Petty. Meh. Okay, good for him. Well, good luck for him and his studies. Boo. Boo that man. It's all right. It's all right. Where was he? Where was I? Close that. We don't need that. All right. How long have we been in here? 2 hours? Okay. I still have my shading. So what I'm actually doing, because I don't take any notes on, obviously guys, I don't take any notes on my color mixes. I'm just kind of like winging it and trying to match colors. But while I have my shadow here, I want to complete this hand. Is that dark enough? Might be. Yeah, but I think for Monday, for re-entry Monday, I'm already thinking about Monday. And I think I'm gonna try to redraw Dala, the mother of my characters. Yeah, me too, Link. And I have another story that my wife is encouraging me to finish for the holidays. And I don't know if I'll be able to do all the storytelling of it, but it was really cool to hear her excitement for it. And I'm like, oh man, maybe I should finish it. But I don't know. I'm still intimidated by all of the panels, all the sequential art that's going to be required for it. So I might just do singular panels with story. Because I actually wrote the story also in the form of a poem, in the form of Twas the Night Before Christmas. So I'm thinking maybe I can do it like that. Poem form and having a one image with the dialogue per page or something like that, because it would start it out as a 6-page short story, turn into a 14-page short story to a 22-page story with a potential continuation into the future, and it's like, oh brother. It's set in Christmas time. It's set on Christmas Eve in the worst part of town. Think of Gotham City. Think about the lowest end of Gotham City. That's where this bar is set. It's a seedy bar. It's used for the mob, to hang out, to hide out, that type of stuff, that type of place. All right, I'm gonna give his cloak here some design here, just cause why not? And so that's the setting. But the whole point is this. Every Christmas Eve, Santa fulfills a wish of one loser, which is a terrible thing. And in this case, the loser happens to be the bartender of this bar. And all he wants to do is go home. But the people that are in the bar at the moment, they don't want to leave because it's almost Christmas time. They ain't got no place to go. They're a bunch of butthole criminals. So he calls out, last call. That's the name of the story. Last call for miracles. Last call. And the thugs inside go, no, it isn't. You still owe us another round. He goes, come on, man. I just want to go home to my family. They don't let him. So under his breath, he just makes a wish. God, I wish they would just disappear. You hear jingle bell, or the entering of the bar that has some Christmas bells attached to it. Jingle jingles. And in comes 2 angels who are kind of like They're adult size, but adult sized angels, elves. I'm all over the place. And they're enforcers for Santa Claus, mistletoe, and holly. So they're there to fulfill his wish. And they're gonna go in there and put the beans on, put the whomping on the thugs. That's it. At the end, next time, wish for socks. That type of deal. So it's that type of short. You think you saw some? Yeah, you probably did. You probably did see some of the sketches for it. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe I could just do some cool action sequences and some hero portraits like I normally do. Yeah. As I adjust my car, like I normally do. And put the, twas the night before Christmas. I don't get why they consider the bartender a loser when he seems like a nice guy trapped within bad circumstances and surrounded. Yeah, that's what a loser is. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're not gonna get into semantics, DW. It's just kind of like I love DW because he's the el abogado. He's the attorney. Wait a minute. Why is he my client the loser? You're a good dude. You're a good dude, D-Dubs. I'm gonna add some color to the inside shirt here. Also, socks are great. Like as a kid, horrible present. Then as an adult, you never want to buy socks. So when my boy, dude, I have some of the greatest, ugliest socks. I love them. Love them. Love socks for the holidays. A bartender is the keeper of the spirits, guarding the ale, meat and wine. See, hey, Jam knows what I'm talking about. Booze with nothing to lose. No loser there. There's a bartender poem for you. Haiku. That is a haiku. We're looking down at Wayne's basement. But that's not Wayne's basement. Garth. That's a haiku. All right. I'm sorry. I haven't mentioned it. I think I mentioned once that I'm just using it for. This is the second time I use these paints, and I think these might be it. I'm digging these so far. I think these are going to replace my Winsor Newton. These are my Castle Art gouache set, and I am digging these, man. I love the way I was able just to fart that out there, man. Very acrylic-like in the way you can blend, but also watercolor-esque with the way you can layer on top. I don't know what's happening, but I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Uh, hmm, hmm. I'm stressing because I don't know. I know I want him to have the soul glow. And the only way it's gonna look like it. Oh, that's not bad. I'm gonna have to work on that background. Oh, breathtaking. It's breathtaking, ain't it? J.O.M. It wasn't us Seinfeld that said it. I'm just gonna see what I can do with this background. I wish I can figure out how to draw clouds. But oh no, I didn't want that red in there. Pew. I saw advice about how you realistically do that kind of glow, yet don't remember, so you're on your own. Oh, brother. Thanks. Good luck with my studies. Oh, man. That guy cursed us. Alright, a little bit of water fixed it. I'm gonna have to keep adding some dark because that looks weird. He was right. Then the bartender for you, haiku, gesundheit. That's hilarious. I once did some storyboard work for a screenwriter. That's cool. His office was literally plastered with post-it notes. The post-it notes were his blueprint to keep the story intact. That's kind of cool. New shirt. Good luck with your studies. Yeah. Good luck. Don't die out there. I don't know how much. I'm digging it already. I don't know how much I'm going to put into this. I like the way the color scheme is so far. I know that in my original drawing, I have markings. You guys want to see the original drawing? Let me see if I can put it up here. Un momento, por favor. Is it this one? Yep. All right. Screenshots reference, David Rough pencils, bap. Move that over. I'd wear the heck out of that shirt. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, basically. But he didn't mean. You know how people be like, "Good luck. Hope you don't die." He didn't. And he's probably right. What was he saying? My composition's off because his hand is sticking out. Reference. That one. David. Open. View. Oh, geez, Louise, Mel. Hiya. Oh, yeah. The whole point of the piece was not the hand. None of it is. Not even the slingshot. is his face. This is why his face is dead center of the. I don't want to even have. I don't even want to defend myself. I don't want to defend myself. But it was never any of that. It wasn't the hand. It wasn't the hand up here. It wasn't this. It was a motion. And we're in his way because I want us to look at his face. That was the whole point. Everything is framing his eyes. Everything you need to know about David and Goliath is right here, especially him. We already know the story. We already know what happens, right? that guy's gonna live rent free. You know what he reminds me of? Last weekend, I must have been driving some type of way. I thought I was having a smooth Sunday drive. My wife and I went to a flea market. We was hanging out all day. We went to the Hobby Lobby. We went everywhere. I got flipped off by other drivers several times that day. Only when I would look in my rearview mirror and see somebody spazzing out and flipping me off. It made me laugh, but I'm like, what the hell did I just do? What have I done? So that guy just drove by and flipped us off. That's all. So maybe, you know what? I take that as a sign. That's the last time at this age, and no word. I'm 46 for the last time in my life. And that guy flipped me off for the last time of being 46. I appreciate him. We all have a purpose. Right? Little one finger salute. They are Goliath flipping me the bird on a sweet Sunday, man. I had to look over to my wife and be like, am I driving like an ass today? So there you go. Am I streaming like an ass today, guys? Like a burro? Yeah, the Goliath. Plus, it had Keith David. I always get his name and David Keith's name crossed up. I think David Keith is the white dude. He played Affleck's Daredevil's dad. Keith David is the man. Both of them are good actors, by the way. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I always do get their names crossed. Tema, I love Tema. Tema is my arch sis. I had drawn something, painted something at a very low point, and she commented on it, And it was such a, you know, I don't know. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Maybe it was psychosomatic. But sometimes you can kind of read into people's comments, be like, "I didn't mean that." I felt it, and I was so grateful for her comment. And that was maybe 2 years ago, maybe last year. I think maybe last year. Everything just feels well long, and we've been in each other's circle ever since. I had the pleasure of having she commissioned me to do a portrait of her husband, which I thought was amazing, which I did in gouache. And talk about dealing with imposter syndrome. I'm like, I'm not a painter, you know. I can draw I can draw really well. And I even gave her the option, hey, you know, if I draw it, it'll be more detailed. I can get in there and, you know, no, I want you to paint it. I want you to paint it. I went, oh, brother. Let us begin. Hey, I'll show you the piece. Hey, don't think she'll mind. This eye is in the dark, so I'm going to see if I can, without smudging everything, I'm going to try to give this a light wash over the eye. Here, I'm going to zoom in for a second. Stepping that self-doubt right out of you. Yep. She is all light. I love it. Yeah, yes, me too. When people flip you off, it's just a reminder that you're number one. That's right. Witness me. You're number one. I give him the thumbs up. So the trick, I think, is to don't do what I just did, to go back and forth. Go in one direction with a little bit more color. But that looks pretty good. Now you definitely see it in the dark there. All right. You guys want to see the? Been here 2:15. I think we're gonna call it here. I'm gonna call it here, but I'll hang out for a little bit before I dip because I want to show you guys the piece I did for Tema. I got a few. It'll be nice if I can I create a slideshow with just those pieces? Mini slide. I'll do that. We're gonna be like what's his face? We're gonna do it live. Nope. Nope. That. Sorry. Now I gotta create a new slide. Add new image? No. I want to create a new one. How do you create a new one? See what I do for y'all. For y'all. Oh, that's whack. Add directory. Add directory. Okay. Image slideshow number 2. And there's nothing in it. I don't think you could take the files. It doesn't take HEIC files. That's whack. It has to be JPEGs. That's whack some more. Because sometimes the Mac corrupts the file when you change the file structure. But let's find out. Ha! I lied. Okay. That. Really, I gotta do all of them in order? Or maybe. I'm sorry. This isn't very exciting. Boom! There you go. You see what it does? You see how the Mac corrupts the images? Isn't that sucky? Alright, let's cancel that. Which means now I'm going to have to change all of those back and maybe just show them one at a time. I don't know why Mac does that. So if you was to... Yeah, I was 10 years ago. HEICs. It's just the way when you take a picture with your phone. Yeah, burn. Burn is right. Well, that's mean. All right. Let's see. Maybe I could do it this way. Meanies, man. Man, I just want to show my screen. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna have to do it this way. Pow! Alright, so that was the drawing. You guys can see that okay? I know the vertical people was like, what's happening? So I'll do it this way. I'll go through some of these. Great camera angle. So that was the drawing of it. That was the beginning. This is all using gouache too and going through layers. I was stressing. I'll never tell that. I'll never tell her that, but I was stressing. Yeah, man, Mac is whack. Thanks. I had to use several trickery shots. So I used two images. I had to reimagine. I'm over here pointing. I had to reimagine this part of his face. His hand was closer to his face, so I had to tweak that, which I think is one here. Yeah. So that was some of the. That's the same hand that I showed you that I used. And just tightening it and tightening it. It was fun. It was cool to draw and paint. I changed where the fence was. The fence created a weird tangent, so I had to double it up, which is fine because it still breaks up the image. I wanted him to be framed in it. If that dude was here, I would have said something about his arm being off camera. Yeah, that dude, this right here, I was envious. I had beard envy. It was really fun to do. It was awesome. All right. I'm super grateful. Super grateful that she let me do it. That photo, yeah, that elbow. The elbow falling off the side. That's how it was supposed to be. Some people. I have the real-time footage of painting it. I never got a chance to edit it down. I should and send it to her. I think it'd be a nice thing to do. But yeah, party people, that is going to be it for me for this morning's run. I'll be back later on this afternoon. What is it, 1 o'clock? Maybe around 3:30, 4 o'clock. I may continue to do this. I'm not sure. Maybe I will. I'm really digging the composition of this. I'm really digging how it's coming out. It's a lot better than what I expected. I will need to darken this. Put some light in his teeth. You can see him gritting those teeths. And I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do back here. So, it's either gonna be that or... maybe I can do one of these. Maybe I can finish drawing that. Ooh, Batman and Catwoman. Ew. Or maybe I'll do something new. Link, have you ever painted somebody else's stuff? Would you like to do something like that? Just kind of, I don't know if you can print or... I was watching Portrait Artist, I'm sorry, my mind goes everywhere. I was watching Portrait Artist of the Year the other day, season 8. Some homie did the doodle grid, and I was like, Link, yelling it towards it, Link. But yeah, I would love to see how you would mess around with something. If you want to do something like that, it'd be kind of cool. You let me know. Oh, D-Dubs, diabolical. You will link? Yeah, let me know. I'll send you if you want. See my email right there. Oh, it's not in there. Design Mad Good. Design madgood@gmail, or you can hit me up on the Insta. Yeah, we'll figure something out. I think it'll be kind of cool. We won't have to go nuts. We won't do a full thing. Maybe a portrait, or maybe we'll figure it out. We'll find out together. But yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. We'll put a pin on it. I would love to do that. Maybe make do some comic book art. Be kind of dope. But okay. All right. That's it. Appreciate you guys. This is Art to the Round Table. My name is Mello. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today during this thing. During this good luck study. God bless you. Love you. Mean it. And until the next one, I'll draw you later. Bye.